If you guys don't know, Rex is a massive Diablo 4 content creator, and pretty much like any ARPG he kind of covers. He used to be like very big when it comes to Diablo 3. If you don't know, like the blue hoodie guy, and you play RPGs, like well, I present you Rex. He was also one of the few people that also, as a Diablo partner, he tried to help Blizzard to make Diablo Immortal a better game. But as always, Blizzard, after they realized that there was like a lot of pay to win into the game, most of the major content creators, they quit. Okay, so this video, it is from June 18, 2022. And you may ask, okay, but now it's 2025. Why are we gonna watch this? Well, because I am curious if the reasons that it's gonna give for quitting Diablo Immortal are still the same today after 3 years. So I want to know if the game, it evolved or not over these past 3 years, and they made it better, and they acknowledged like a few certain things. So let's go and watch.
To bring you a video summarizing my final thoughts on Diablo Immortal.
All right.
Because I think I may be ending my playing career in this game. I'd like to talk to you about the entire progression of the game. Some of you may or may not care about that, but
so at this stage, he was 1,700 combat rating, 319 resonance, and he spent a total of $40. So Rex, if I remember well, he was trying to go in this free to play area to see if it was like actually doable to do it, and then he spent like 40 euros to just realize and prove how pay to win the game was. But let's go and watch.
I've been testing this game since the alpha, and I think it's important to understand the progression of the game to show you how I actually feel about it. Before I start, I want to say that in general, I'm usually very pro Blizzard. I literally stream their games all the time. I've been playing their games since I was like 12 years old. They have been my favorite gaming company, even when they really let me down.
Let me just boost a bit the sound, because I think it is a bit low, right, chat? So I have to go here, volume booster, and I think this is gonna be better.
I still...
Oh my god. All right. Volume booster. Okay. Maybe like this.
Try to stick by Blizzard. I felt very honored that Blizzard let me test the game ahead of time and try to help. I do not think that I'm God's gift to Earth and that all of my ideas are great, or Blizzard should do everything that I say. So with those things out of the way, I want to tell you how I actually feel about Immortal before I stop playing. Now,
so, by the way, for those that are joining the stream, we're watching this to acknowledge if, after almost 3 years since this video was made, if Diablo Immortal, and if people are still quitting for the same reasons.
The number one question that I get by far is, Rax, why are you playing Diablo Immortal?
You know what? A lot of my gaming friends ask me exactly the same thing.
The most truthful answer to that is, I promised my team I would play until the Rite of Exile. The Rite of Exile is tomorrow, actually. It's the second Sunday after the game releases. The Rite of Exile is the battle where you compete to become the Immortals. So we fight tomorrow. Hopefully we become the Immortals. I might play a little bit as the Immortals. And I don't see myself continuing this game unless we see some changes. So that's the real reason in why I'm still playing. You
know what this reminds me? You know, like when you go like to the Reddit or the YouTube sections, and how many people do you know, or you read this? Oh, I know that the game isn't that great right now, but I play because of the community. I still play because of the community, or my clan, or my warband, or all these things. How many people? So, in this case, is exactly the same.
At its very core, I thought Diablo Immortal had a lot of potential. but a lot of things, in my opinion, went very wrong that are really holding it back. So let's go back. Let's go back to the alpha of the game, okay? When it all started, and this is about, I don't know, about 1 year ago, okay? So keep in mind, 1 year ago. So logged in, and I played the alpha a ridiculous amount, okay, to test the game. To give you an idea, I was Paragon 150, Rob was Paragon 149, and the next highest in the world, any testing region, was, I think, 𝙀𝙀𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙿 at Paragon 102.
Damn.
So Rob and I were...
So, wait a minute. Like, before, there was no cap on the Paragon? Like, maybe in the alpha, like, this weekly system was not a thing.
Ultima blasting the alpha. So, 1 year before the game's release, excuse me, we play the alpha, and the game, it certainly has its problems, right? Crusaders were 1,000 times stronger than every other class. The battleground.
These only changed very recently, chat. Because Crusaders, they were always OP.
Were extremely unfair. If you were really powerful, you can just one-shot everybody. There was no pay to win in the alpha. Obviously, there was no resonance.
Damn.
So you're
no pay to win, chat. Imagine Diablo Immortal without pay to win. God damn.
Combat rating was really all of your power. And there were no caps in the game. You could just play and play and play and get stronger.
Imagine that. Imagine not having caps on anything. Man, that sounds like in 2025, that actually sounds like a dream.
Another big thing to understand is because there were no caps, it was all based on combat rating, and because zone events weren't the zone events that you're used to now, the game was completely different. Because there was a huge incentive to play. There was a huge incentive to log in and maximize these zone events, because in order to increase your combat rating by upgrading, you needed yellow.
And I'm gonna say that one of the main reasons why now I am playing less and less the game, like in terms of like the amount of hours, it is because even if I want to play more, I have everything capped. My geared rank is capped. Gear rank to 30. It is such a journey. It is really good, and it feels really good because you always have an extra reason to keep logging in and keep playing. After you're done with that heavy grind, you don't really have a lot of reason to keep playing after you capping everything.
Lows which dropped in the zone events. So what the game was it was a very social MMO that rewarded playing. It was, think of all the top players as a little school of fish. And they would look at all the zone events, the carriage in the cemetery, the big monster in Mount Zivane, the pages in 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙿. Since they came up so frequently, we would move as a school of fish between the different difficulties and the different zone events, and we would work together to maximize our yellows to keep up.
Which now, if you guys don't know what he's talking about, these zone events, it is mainly because these zone events nowadays are completely irrelevant. Nobody's doing no more the caravan, the big monster, all these things. They just became like so irrelevant. And I feel like the world boss, especially the world boss, it's such a like a missing opportunity to put like, make it like extremely hard, make it like a raid, and give it something that if you kill it, you get like, I don't know, extra like normal gems, or like some extra a resource that I can go and I can put on my green set items, and like it's gonna give me an extra socket, or it's gonna change the color of my sockets. Give it something that I don't need to. Don't make it like a weekly thing, like you did like with with the Diablo boss fight. But just make like more things in the game that, oh, I don't need to do that. I can do that if I really need, and whenever I don't need, I don't go there. But zone events, I think, like in world bosses, is always a very cool event.
Upgrading to pump our combat rating, right? We were doing all the events in the game that Blizzard had designed. We were getting a lot of legendaries. We're having a lot of fun. And everybody knew everybody. You know, you would be moving along again as the School of Ish, and then you'd see 𝙀𝙀𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙋 join me. Like, oh, 𝙀𝙀𝙋𝙃 woke up. Oh, here comes Lexi. Oh, here comes Mr. K. Here comes Z. They all woke up, and now we're blasting as a bunch of friends. When the zone events are down, we would all split up into different dungeons. There were no set items at the time. We'd all split up and do whichever dungeons we want to do. And that's how we spent our day. So, can you imagine our opinion seeing this in the alpha? No pay to win, no residence. The zone events are really fun. We're all playing together. There's a huge sense of camaraderie. And we think to ourselves, with 1 year of development on top of this game, they could make the game amazing. And we have huge hopes that this could be a fantastic game on launch. So when I was done testing the alpha...
Chat, that actually, listen, that actually would feel extremely good. I think that if in the future there is like a new ARPG or even like a new Diablo Immortal, that if it doesn't have pay to win and they just basically try to monetize based on the convenience and cosmetics, I think the game will do tremendously better. Because instead of having like this low amount of player base that we have right now, we will be talking about like probably millions of players will be playing the same way as they are playing Diablo 4 right now.
Alpha, I'll show you something here. I made this Word document. It's 19 pages long.
Oh my God.
Put a lot of time into it. I played for 400 hours and Paragon 150. Super high combat rating.
So, just so you guys understand, this was like the quality of content creators that Diablo Immortal used to have. I don't think like no content creator right now comes even close to this.
I played 2 classes. I became the Immortal. I played a bunch of Battlegrounds. Here's what I think about the classes. You know, here's what I think about all the different activities on how to make it better. Attacking, defending. Here's the bestiary. Here's bounties. Here's the campaign. You get it. There's 19 pages of stuff here.
Jesus
and at
Christ.
the very bottom, I put here's like a nice to have list. You know, I wish we could fix the keyboard in the game. I can't talk to anybody. Equipment manager, we actually got this. Option to auto skip cutscenes, we didn't get that. More battleground maps, we didn't get that. More diverse dailies, we kind of...
More elite... Chat, look at this! Oh, the D point. More battleground maps. In 2022, they were already asking for more battleground maps. And you know what? 2025 still playing the same freaking idle push map.
I got that. Factions need to be rebalanced. They fixed that, etc. Okay? I'm not the end-all, be-all. I'm not the smartest tester. They shouldn't just do what I tell them to. But I did play the game incessantly. I do have, I think, the players and Blizzard's best interest in mind. This is how it felt in the alpha. It got a big, gigantic green check mark.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like a great mobile game
on launch. Now let's see how the game looks that you guys all saw. So we have the PC beta, first of all, and I understand.
Still in beta right now. Okay. 3 years after, still in beta.
Understand what the term beta means. People like to always remind me what beta means. It means it doesn't. I mean, it essentially means it doesn't work, right? And you need to test it, we need to fix it. That's fine. However, I do find that there is one thing that I expect. If the controls don't work, that they will be fixed promptly. If I can't move and shoot, then you would fix that, right? That's the, to me, the bare minimum expectation, right?
Otherwise, like, if you cannot move and shoot at the same time, like it's unplayable.
If I tell you I can't move, or attack, the rest of it can take forever. And I guess I just don't completely understand how it works for a gigantic behemoth company to make a change. But 3 weeks in, I still cannot move and shoot on my Demon Hunter. That to me is heartbreaking. I can't tell you how many times I've died in the battleground. I've died on a boss. Yeah, my ability to shoot the
Don't you guys have phones? Don't you guys have phones?
wrong way just because I can't move. So that to me has been a big letdown that I still can't move 3 weeks after the game is launched.
It has been fixed though.
And then of course we have the caps everywhere. There's like this chain reaction.
It's so annoying.
Everything is capped. They capped our upgrades. They capped how much stuff you can get per day.
Everything.
Materials. And so this has completely destroyed the incentive to play. Right now, for the second...
Thank you. That's exactly what I say. And that is exactly how I feel, man. Like, Rex is so right on this.
time already in my Immortal career, without playing a crazy amount of hours. I could have played so many more. For the second time, my Demon Hunter has absolutely nothing to do. I will be Paragon 40 by the Rite of Exile. I will have my gear at level 9. Not that that even matters at all. But there's nothing for me to do. So I already have like a
This is... Bro, I am seeing me right now on issues. I feel exactly the same way. There is nothing for me to do on the game.
Paragon 13 Necro. Leveled it completely very soon. He'll be Paragon 30. I got 7 levels, 8 levels yesterday just doing my dailies because they give me such a high boost, etc. I could go into this in extreme detail, but I'm going to save you the trouble. But the caps in the game have completely erased the incentive to log in. I can't get any stronger. Yep. And you want to know what's the funny thing about it? Let's say they hadn't capped this stuff. Let's say they hadn't capped the upgrade materials. That actually wouldn't have changed the game at all. Let's say that they weren't the caps, and I could have kept blasting and blasting and blasting. And let's even say that my gear was like plus 16. Well, if it continues at plus 24 around, that's 8, that's 160, that's 32, that's what, 192, something like that, plus 192 combat rating. That would have put me at roughly, let's see, 8, 16 minus 8, 1968 combat rating right now. I would be at 1968 combat rating. You know where that puts me in reference to the whales? Nowhere near them.
No, nothing
and then you
changed.
might think to yourself, well, maybe they put the caps in the game to thwart botting. No, that doesn't thwart botting. It doesn't stop it. It actually promotes botting. Because the botters are going to be a higher paragon than me if they aren't banned. And they're going to get the upgrades before me. So not only does it not hinder botting, it helps botting, and you would have never helped me catch the whales. This combat rating doesn't help me, because combat rating doesn't help anyway. Combat rating is capped in PvP, and the only thing that matters is resonance, which is pure pay to win, and playing the game doesn't help you increase your resonance.
I feel like after 3 years, the gap between like free to play and pay to win, like we're talking about like major, massive pay to win guys, right? So here probably, I don't know, but here like at the launch probably was what used to be like what, like 1,000, 2,000, maybe 3,000 resonance. Now we are talking about like 13,000 resonance cap. Even if you play as a low spender or the free to play, it will take you like probably, I'll say like 10 years, or like probably I'll say that you will never even reach it. Unless you literally waste your life and you have multiple accounts with like 20 or 30 alts. But by then, is that really a good game? If you really need to create 20 accounts to funnel all this platinum and all these things that people do to try to get an edge as a free to play, I don't think that's a good game. So I feel like it is about time they actually put some small catch-up mechanic when it comes to resonance. I don't know if it's like give us some gem power that a better way to farm gem power, give us like a better way to get like maybe some legendary crest, something, or whenever you're like below 3000 resonance, just give us a way that we get like 100% more gem power, or 2000, the same way as we have that percent, those catch up mechanics for scraps. I think they should also implement something like that, because right now 2025 Diablo Immortal still has new players coming in, but the gap between the veterans or the mega whales, it is so big that new players are just quitting the game. And if you don't have new players staying, this game will eventually die, like it's dying right now.
So all these caps not only ruined my experience, it didn't help the whales, and it didn't stop the botters. Nothing. I do not.
If we reach to 7,000, should be enough, right? I mean, at 7,000, you would still probably like be a bit more tanky, but you will still die. Like, you have to understand, like, the difference between a 9,000 whale or a 12 or 13,000 whale now, it is massive. Like, they cannot literally do anything. So the gap, even between the mega whales, it is that massive. So imagine how it is for us that we are like low resonance or mid resonance.
Not understand why these were here. To me,
they could add a dungeon to farm gem power, like a Eden Ledge. Yeah, they could give definitely a new purpose to the Eden Ledge, right?
Unless I'm missing something, all it did was ruin my experience. This topic has been talked about so much. I don't want to sit here and talk about it 10 million times. We all know the game is very pay to win. You can't win anything as a free-to-play player or even a medium spender unless your server completely sucks.
Yeah.
If you won as a free-to-play player in anything, it just means that you don't have any spenders on your server. That's the only thing that it means. You have absolutely no chance of beating them. Their power level is way too.
And whenever like people tell me that no, but you don't understand in this, free-to-plays can actually beat spenders. And all I can say is like you can beat a spender when the spender doesn't know how to play the game, or your class is a counter to his class. It has to be a factor that you as a free-to-play, you get an advantage. So right now, I've been playing the game for 10 months as a free-to-play. Of course, if I'm gonna face a whale that's been playing for 1 month and he doesn't have the secondary attributes built, I still have a chance. But whatever like Rax is saying and whatever I always try to say is equal classes, equal skills. If this guy is pay to win and this guy is free to play, the pay to win will win 10 out of 10 times. It's just a math, man. It's just like, this guy is more tanky, does more damage. This guy will take more damage and does less damage. So who's gonna win?
Too high. They could have picked a much less predatory model. This is the model that they chose. I understand that the developers don't choose that. That's fine. They got nothing to do with that. They just make the game. So let's try to go back into the actual game. And another thing that I don't understand is the zone events. They nerfed it extremely, right? They nerfed it. They almost never occur, and they also just don't matter anymore because of these caps. I could skip every zone event for the rest of my life, and it's not going to matter. I can still be as strong as a free-to-play player can possibly be, which I am right now. If you look at my Demon Hunter cannot get stronger. As a quarter.
Yeah, it's the same as mine. Man, I literally chat, except alt farming and doing all these degenerate time wasting things. My main I am doing for the past 10 months literally almost everything that I could do to min max it. My character literally cannot get more powerful.
Quote unquote free to play player. I spent $40 on the first day. I got absolutely nothing. I said, that's enough. I'm not going to spend any more.
Goes first day, spends $40, gets nothing. Well, welcome to Diablo Immortal.
Or haven't spent a cent since. I'm as strong as I can possibly be as a free-to-play player. I don't understand why we crucified this and why we changed this. Because this was the most fun part about the game. It made it a social MMO. Yeah. I saw all my friends all the time. We were working together to achieve a common task. This is where this is what we did. This is what made the game fun. Why did you make all these fun zone events if we weren't meant to do them all the time? Now, to be very clear, I understand that these zone events were happening way too often and they didn't like maybe the structure of it. But this is way too severe of a change. You made them the most fun, most exciting thing to...
So I think what he's talking about is that in the alpha, this would pop maybe 1 or 2 times a day, and now it's like 1 or 2 times a week.
Worthless.
And they are worthless, like you say.
I really just don't get it. So, in conclusion, I wrote another document on release. I wrote another 8-page document talking about the caps and the Paragon and the zone events and bounties and the BC.
You know what? I wish I could actually take some time and really read this in detail, because I am sure that a lot of fundamental problems that the game still has, it comes from release, man. Because like sometimes I say that I most of the times get bored because like the core loop of the game, and I feel like some people they just don't understand what I'm trying to say. It's like, it's not really if I have one more dungeon, it's just like the dungeons itself, the experience, it's not that fun. Like the loop of farming and the way you get the gear in Diablo Immortal, it was fine the first time that I farmed all those green set items. The second time it was okay. The third time it was a pain in the ass, and right now it is my 4th or 5th time, and I'm kind of hating my life, man, that I have to refarm it again. So I really hope that they consider that they actually change the system, that the way you farm and the way you craft and the way the whole green set items works, because this game is supposed to be multi-class playable, not you just play with one main, because like if you just play with one character, it is easier. But if you play multiple characters and you try to play Wizard, Tempest, Crusader, Barbarian, you have to farm Vitus, you have to farm Montebanks, you have to farm the Augments, you have to farm the Glooms, you have to farm for Demon Hunter the seeds of gold or whatever is the name. Like, there are so many set items that you have to farm, and they all need to have fortitude and willpower. They all need to have like this triple socket. They all need the rings. They need to be with a blue socket. Otherwise, like, there are so many things that if it doesn't fit that criteria, it sucks. That it makes like extreme frustrating for the player to just keep farming.
In the layers, heavy ornate chests and the charms that don't do anything. The battle pass, the battlegrounds.
And by the way, I think the best way would be, let me go and let me try to get in a mid-maxed my gear, and all I need to do is like, okay, I have these 8 pieces that I farm. They are the best in slot for me. And if I want, I just change them like the instance system. If I want 4 pieces Glooms and 4 pieces Vitus instead of 4 pieces Mountebanks, let me just go to the blacksmith and create like an instance transfer or a set item transfer or something. And let me just change the set without having to go over and over and over farming it again and having like my bags full of like this trash gear.
They made the battlegrounds better. There's still some problems. There's still too much CC. The bandages weren't working. It's way easier to...
In the beginning of the game, there was too much CC. 2025, you know what? There is too much CC.
To defend. I don't know why battlegrounds go down. The pay to win ruins it. You can't queue with your friends, etc. So I made another document and I sent it to Blizzard trying to help again on launch. I'm trying to help, man. I'm trying. But I think
every creator, even I did like 1 week ago, I did like this video. It's called the 30 must-have changes for Diablo Immortal in 2025. I sent to developers and I really hope that they will consider a lot of them. I even put it like in priority and nice to haves, so it will help them to figure out like what really the player base is being wanting. And let me tell you, we are not wanting like 3 pay-to-win events in one minor patch.
I think after 3 weeks of this, I still can't move. I'm still crushed by the whales and everything. I'm almost to legend tier in PvP, trying to do it as a free-to-play, sub 400 resonance player. But it's just so hard, man. It is so impossible for me to make a significant difference in these battlegrounds. I multi-shot a whale, it hits them for 5% of their health, they auto-attack me once, and 90% of my health is gone. The PvP is essentially completely ruined. Whenever there's a game at my tier, I'm halfway through Gold 4 right now, trying to get to Legend. If there's a game...
Nothing changed, chat. Nothing changed.
Where I'm the MVP of my team, we're pretty much guaranteed to lose. Because if I'm the strongest person, or if I'm the person playing the best on our team, we're doomed, right? Because I just don't have any power, because I didn't spend a lot of money in the game. After 3 weeks of this, I think I've pretty much had enough. I do think that Blizzard could make changes to make the game better, and they could make it a lot better for free-to-play players. By the way, one comment that has to be made: the crafting system that they added for free-to-play players is essentially completely worthless. Maybe you guys have seen the videos. It takes you like, if you do the math, it takes you like 52 years to get a five-star gem, an actual
Chad, it will take you 52 years to get a five-star
gem, and it doesn't matter. Even if you do get one, you don't have the gem power to upgrade it. I have a 2 out of 5 seeping bile. That's the luckiest thing that's happened to me. I can't upgrade it. It costs 50 gem power to upgrade it 1 rank. I can't even upgrade my seeping bile a single rank as a free-to-play.
This is like right now my major issue that I'm having on the game. It is the gem power. The lack of gem power is being a major problem for me. It's like my bottleneck right now.
Player. So I don't know. I guess I gotta wait for 5 million years to level it up to rank 2, or just not use it, I guess. But I think they thought that their new crafting system would help free-to-play players. It really doesn't. It doesn't do anything. Another thing is they nerfed rare crests. I don't know why they did this. This was kind of a dirty move. Rare crests were the only hope that we had, and rare crests can no longer give you 2-star gems. They can only give you 1 star.
What? Wait a minute. Rare crests used to give you 2-star gems? Wow, dude. What the hell?
At least according to the tooltip, and I've never gotten 2-star out of them. So you nerfed rare crests and you replaced it with a crafting system that doesn't help us at all. In fact, both the times that I crafted my random 1-star legendary, which is once every 10 days, both times I got a 1-star gem. So I worked for 20 straight days to get 2 1-star gems, which is like 2 gem power, which is absolutely nothing. So I gained no power whatsoever. You could make it better for free-to-play players, but if I were to put on my Blizzard executive hat right now, and I'm thinking about the game, you only get 1 chance to make a first impression. What is the impression of the game? I think, based on everything that I've seen, the internet speaks very loudly. So maybe there are a lot of people that aren't on the internet. They aren't on Twitch. They aren't on YouTube. They aren't on Reddit. And they are actually enjoying the game. And that's fine. And by the way, it should be said, you can enjoy the game, download it for free, not spend any money, enjoy the game, absolutely, as long as you don't want
That's what I do, chat.
to be competitive. If you don't want,
as long as you don't want to be competitive, that's right. Chat, it doesn't matter how much hard you try to sweat as a free-to-play. Let me tell you, your fun will end at a certain point.
win anything, then as long as that doesn't bother you, then certainly you can do that. But maybe there is a big...
For me, this thing that he said is not really the thing that bothers me the most. What is bothering me the most, it is really like I feel like I don't have a purpose to log in much more. I do my dailies in 30 minutes and I'm pretty much done with the game like at this stage. I hope that the next major patch will bring something exciting for me to have a reason to log in, man. Just increase the gear rank. Man, just if you increase the gear rank, it's like literally the most it's gonna create a bigger cap from free to play and pay to win, but at least will give like most, you know, veterans a reason to just keep playing, man.
You know, the vast majority of people just download it and play, and maybe they're enjoying it, and that would be fantastic. But from everything that I've heard online, you know, and online speaks loudest, the first impression was not good, especially mostly because of the pay-to-win stuff. So the first impression is already out. And then we say, well...
And the game, to be honest, it never recovered. The people tried it in even today. And the reality is like, it is still a pay-to-win game, and will always be a pay-to-win game. And to be honest, nothing will ever change yet. Don't hope for things that most likely will never happen. Once a pay-to-win system, it is inside the game, it's very unlikely that they will ever remove it or make it better for free-to-play. What will end happening is like the free-to-plays, they will play the game for a while, and afterward, they will just like, there will be gonna be one day they're gonna say, you know what? I am tired of this shit, and they quit the game. This is like literally what happens. And that's why they cannot hold a good player base.
Should we normalize battlegrounds now? Should we normalize PvP? And then if we do that, should we let people queue with their friends because it's normalized, it's fair, you can play with whoever you want? And I don't know if you should do that because the whales spent copious amounts of disposable income on the game to smash the plankton, the free-to-play players.
Yeah.
If you now all of a sudden normalize it, is it within their right to now charge back or request refunds for all the money? Would Blizzard risk that? You know, as an executive, I'm not sure that...
I don't think that free-to-play should ever be as strong as a whale, okay? Straight up, I don't think so, because if one guy is putting thousands and thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, it is like, I don't think a free-to-play should be able to go and beat that guy like that. But I think it will make the game more fun if at least the gap between Mega Whale and free-to-plays, or when I'm saying free-to-plays, I'm talking even about like low spenders, dedicated players, okay? If this guy is spending like 400 hours on this game, and this whale, it is spending 20 hours, but they are spending $400,000, you know, like, I feel like spending time in the game should also be slightly a bit more valuable than it is at this stage.
That they would be willing to risk that, or if anything like that is ever going to happen. Sure, you could buff free-to-play, and that would help, certainly, but it's always going to end up being the pay-to-win game, right?
Yeah.
The people who spend the money are going to win the game. It's the nature of...
But, like, the thing is, like, the reality is like, for you to have a pay-to-win game, you need free-to-play players, because otherwise there's only so much people that actually pay to win. So you don't want to play a dead game. So whales, they need free-to-play to flex how powerful they are, because that's why they are paying. And the free-to-plays also are there, and they need the whales to finance and support the game. So it is like a mutual win-win situation for both. So the day that free-to-play stop playing and the day that the whales stop playing, then you kill the game.
The mobile economic system. So, although I would like to be able to move and shoot and have it have a fair PvP system, and also be able to queue with my friends and not be capped and go do all these fun zone events, Do I think all of this is gonna happen?
No.
Probably not. It's a
No.
complete 180 from what they currently have, and it's what they had before.
Yeah, it's like they had to, you know what? We're gonna scrap everything that we made for release and we just go back to the alpha. Whenever the game was really good, you know? I can respect between for the business to make this possible. It's responsible for them not to. Yeah, they have to listen. Free-to-play games, they need to monetize it in a certain way, right? Like they have to make money. My problem is when the free-to-play and low spenders can compete at all, regardless how much time they put in the game and or there the skill lives. Yeah, like, and that's what is happening because like the time is passing in this game, and free-to-play, the gap between free-to-play and spenders, it is increasing. And the pay-to-win should not affect pay-to-PvE, and right now it is. Right now, at this stage, it is, because we cannot farm Inferno 4, Inferno 5, if not like doing these shenanigans.
It is what we had in the alpha, and they took 1 year to change it to this. So anyway, I'm gonna play.
You know what it feels? This feels like this was made with passion and developers, like passionate developers, for it. Like, let's create a really good game, you know? And then the massive corporates like NetEase came and he said, no, you don't do it like that. No, that's not the game we're gonna have. Let's make these like a very pay-to-win, caps everywhere. Let's make this like a very mobile experience. And they started implementing all these things on top of each other.
Play until the Rite of Exile. I'm going to play a little bit as the Immortals, and my plan at that time is probably to stop playing this game. I do still like Blizzard, especially the developers. I was very happy to be involved in the testing. I don't think it was a waste of my time at all, so I appreciate that. But my overall feelings about how this turned out, based upon what it could have been, is, I got to be honest with you, I'm very disappointed. And part of the reason that I would feel that I'm more disappointed than most people is because of how I spent my time in the alpha, and how the game was fun. With 1 year of development to go, what could the game become? It essentially did a complete 180 in my eyes, in the wrong direction, and took out the incentive to play the game. It turned into a complete pay-to-win, clown fiesta. And the beta on the client that I want to play, I understand there's going to be problems. I couldn't move or shoot, and 3 weeks later, I still can't move and shoot. That is extremely disappointing to me. I think it's a big missed opportunity. One thing that I would like to say before I go, something positive, is Blizzard did make some good changes. The class balance in Diablo Immortal is one of the best I've ever seen for any release.
Okay, for the release, chat.
Any class can do some very great.
I feel like one thing that he said, and as a Diablo partner, I feel like like I also worked in tech, and I saw like I work in the backhand, okay, and the reality is that a lot of the developers nowadays, they get a lot of shit, okay, because everyone just generalizes and talks about the developers, but the reality is most of these decisions are not really the developers. They come from the marketing management or the business side, and they said, listen, we need to make money, and we gonna implement these. They have all these monetization departments, and how this is so well studied, and then they just say and give the guidelines to the devs, and the devs, they try their best,
things in both PvE and PvP. That's incredible. They did a really good job there. They did polish, believe it or not, they did polish a lot of the bug fixes that we found in the alpha. So it's not like they sat around and did nothing or just built a system to make a lot of money. They did make the game better in some aspects, but I think there's too many core fundamental problems that were introduced that, at least for me as a player, I'm just one player, are making it not that fun.
Yeah.
Those are my final thoughts on Diablo Immortal. What do you guys think? How are you honestly interpreting this game? Are you having fun? Have you already quit playing? And we'll be going into Diablo 3 Season 27 very soon. We'll go into...
So, I'm gonna give my thoughts. Like, it feels like, you know, like the saying that all roads lead to Rome? You know, all roads leads to Rome, right? It means like, it feels like no matter how much you play, no matter in what time, like we're in 2025, this was made in 2022, June 18, 2022. And a lot of like the core issues that he said and he mentions, like, I am feeling it, you know, I'm literally feeling it. And I feel like a lot of you guys also feel the same. So, I don't know. Definitely the game, in a lot of ways, it is better than what it was. But always remember that the problem, it is in the core of the game. So, guys, thank you for watching. Catch you guys next one. Good reaction.